Oh, it's me. Yeah, kind of a weird day. So anyway, I did a little programming work. So I worked on the toolbar thing, so I'll make a video later about that. So I came up with some, well, whatever, some innovations for the future. Anyway, I did want to talk about the whole other, just the logistics of YouTube. Old fan made a pretty good response video to be serious. Obviously a little snarky, but that's all there is snarky on this medium. And to be serious is getting into conversations with like Trick and stuff about abiogenesis and life in the universe. And so this is what it comes down to for these people. It's not about the difficulty of life on Earth discontinuing, which is inevitable anyway. It's about they really do have this fantasy that this is what the universe does. It makes life and isolates it trillions and zillions of miles away from each other for no good reason, right? But anyway, it's just such a, But again, I've made a video about this. There's so many elements to this living thing, and these people get all excited because, well, they found an amino acid, in a meteor, and wow, yeah, that's just so ready to be a living thing. I just don't think people appreciate, and I've said it because we're here, so we don't appreciate it. How bizarrely unusual this chemistry is. The chemistry just doesn't do this. It takes incredibly bizarre circumstances, piled on incredibly bizarre circumstances, to get here. And that's just the way it is. It's just incredibly bizarre. Because most of the universe, most of the stuff outside of this little 1 mile thick biosphere, or 3 miles thick if you want to really push it, the chemistry is crude. It doesn't do this. It doesn't do anything close to this. It doesn't even grow a fin. And that's the reality of the universe. It's the reality of chemistry. This is really funky. So anyway, that's a whole separate subject I really wanted to get to. Is just the whole attitude thing. Sorry about the crunching leaves. Not really my fault. What else? So just this logistic thing. All this not infighting, but weird fighting. It's always something. I mean, the Mike Bayou guy has privated a couple of his videos, and you're just like, oh no, here we go again. It's just there's just so much of this, erratic behavior. Whatever. I don't know. There's all this mysterious stuff. There's just so many things that are just screwed up lately. Where's Karina? What the hell happened to her? I mean, there's just so many, things that are just weird, strange. But and then the people making videos are weird and strange. I don't know. The whole thing is just weird and strange. So I'm getting back to the idea of that I want to do this debate thing. But anyway, so here To Be Serious has some, she says this is where science is pointing and there's some sort of this, that, and the other thing. But none of these people want to participate in a conversation about that. And in, an environment where I'm pretty much guaranteeing, that the conversation is going to be elevated, that you're going to, there'll be certain rules about conduct. And, so all their complaints about being called a skanky something or an old something or a wrinkled something are, protected. They're protected against that, and yet they still, why don't they show up to play? Well, because it's petty, pettiness. That's why. Okay, I should have thought of that. So anyway. I do want to work on that some more. So back to the philosopher roundtable stuff. So I'll get back to that. but I just been working on some of the background programming stuff to try to, make it possible for there to be a rating system and keywords and all that kind of stuff. All this stuff takes, time, and we don't have sufficient of it. So anyway, what else? Yeah, I thought I just had more on that, but I guess there's no point in getting into that. Even trying to get into the... Well, I can pick up on an old fan made a remark, something like, the onus isn't really on the anti-natalist. It's on the natalist to give us, a justification. And, everybody needs to justify everything. Everything, we deserve explanations. I mean, it's always like anti-Kantavad and this idea that somehow everybody can have non-reasons for their behavior. They don't have to acknowledge, oh yeah, I'm just being a selfish asshole, because that might, subject them to some sort of ridicule or somebody questioning the ethics or decency or appropriateness or efficiency. I probably said that word again. But it really comes down to these basic mechanisms. So anyway, this whole thing of the who's got the bigger burden. I certainly think the intelligent people have a responsibility to explain reality to the dumb people. And they should be able to do it. They should be able to put it in words that the dumb people can understand and explain the truth. So I'd sort of say that, yeah, intelligent people have the burden of conveying what's been revealed to them through their big brainisms. And instead of doing what they often do, which is talking code language, and just do pretentious preaching of what they don't really know, but what they wish or hope. So they almost veil their religion in science talk and make it sound like it's the truth. So anyway, that's a whole nother problem. What was the problem I was getting to? Yeah, the burden thing. Clearly we're the minority position, and that's automatically, you have to explain why you're a minority. You have to justify yourself against the common perception. So I guess, you can't really evade the fact that we have to, in some way, make it understood why this position that most people don't arrive at is correct, and why the most people think is incorrect. And yeah, logically you'd say, well, you shouldn't have that burden, because throughout history it's been clearly demonstrated that the majority has often been wrong. So there shouldn't be any heightened burden for a minority position. But I guess it's just this idea of change. You're always going to have to, the burden's always higher to create the onus to change something. And I guess that's why change is so difficult, is that change always requires there to be more than just reason alone, more than just logic. You need extra. You have to pile on extra urgency, or extra clarity, or some amount of extra guarantee of fail-safeness or something to get something moved or changed. Because nothing really, in the physical world, it's not a real resistance to momentum, but things stay where they are, and you have to apply a force to move them. And the same is sort of true to get something from point A to point C, is you have to move it, you have to push it, you have to convey it. And in theory, It should be just, transported. Just pull the lever and it just, mystifies over there. But that's not the reality. So, anyway, I guess I'm just saying that, I guess there is a burden built into the minority position. And I don't think it's I suppose it's not I guess I don't see it as an onerous thing. I guess it depends on how high, how much resistance, or how nailed to bullshit people are going to be. I mean, it does seem like this shouldn't be that hard to explain how this is replication without any instruction, without control, without mechanisms of intelligence in the design of the organization, and that it, complexity without organization is not likely to be a good thing. And there's lots of fundamental flaws in this thing. And I've sort of pointed them out with these simple cliches, but I think just even listing the key functions that are missing, fairness, deserve, consent, these are really important, and their absence has to be accounted for with more than, I don't want to change my attitude. I like being part of it. I don't want to recognize intrinsic or fundamental catastrophic flaw. That's what it comes down to. Just, for me anyway, it's not so much that, I've said it before, I mean, human beings have made a mess of it. They've embarrassed their intelligence in how badly they're playing the game. But the game is bad at its roots, at its core. And it's not it's not beyond anticipatable or understandable that humans would get it wrong, because it's such a bad game. It's just really hard to play it right. It's impossible to play it right. And that's tragically the way it is. And so it's like I do hate and despise human beings for making a bad job of it. But the materials they're working with are crap. So I still blame them. I guess I'm not trying to, I don't want to at all sound like I would cut humanity a break, because I think this was all within the average human's understanding. I don't think it was that hard to understand. I don't think the little exposures to the little murders that you witness every day, the little horrors, should enlighten you. You shouldn't need 100 decades to figure it out. But this game is rough and brutal and harsh and not good enough. Anyway, kind of not one of my best videos, but it'll have to do. Yes, I am working on something on my just that programming stuff. Just kind of sucks your brain up, and you just feel so. You get a little mentally exhausted. So anyway, just a lot of shit on my mind too. I guess it's a lot of shit. It's just shit everywhere. It's a lot of shit. It's not. I can't complain. I mean, I am generally speaking better than I've been for a while health-wise, but There's just a lot of shit going on. Anyway, until next time, and such, so forth, and whatnot.